I don't know how to put it. It was a bad decision. Let's just put it that way. This was a poor choice on all levels, and I'm stressed out as hell, and that could be one of the reasons for this super bizarre dream. I mean, this was not like any dream I've ever had. Now, I've had weird patterns in dreams throughout my life. Like, I would have weird situations where I would leave my body in an avatar in a dream, or like see multiple different perspectives, or remember clear cut details and conversations and see very detailed information. This, when I was talking to my friend, like this, like resembled like some kind of psychedelic trip, and I'm not on anything. It was just an absolute whirlwind of situations, and it was intense. It was so intense. I woke up at 4 a.m. just in a state of absolute shock. But it was a liberating shock. It was a temporary reprieve on a soul level, because even though it was intense, it was beautiful. And I'm gonna have a really hard time trying to explain to you what I saw. And I don't remember all details in this case, but I can at least get into the context of the situation that I was in. Okay, sorry about that. Basically, I was like thrown into a tunnel, and it was like kind of a tunnel of light type of situation, and I felt like I was traveling at the speed of light, and it was like intense. I could feel it in my stomach. And as I'm traveling through this tunnel, I'm seeing all these anomalies taking place, and anomalies related to time. So I would see what would look like an alien reality, and there would be situations taking place that looked really absurd. Like I actually saw my old friend Vinny in this dream, and he was chasing me through this very bizarre, super like tech-like dimension where everything was like very square, and there was neon lights everywhere, and he was chasing me, and as he was chasing me, he was growing in size. But he was growing in size because he was consuming something, and I was running away from him. And this consumption, like it wasn't like he was necessarily eating food, but I could tell that the concept of consumption was embedded in that situation, where it turned him into a monster, and he grew and he grew and he grew, and I was thrown back into the tunnel, and I would see dozens of these situations. And they were anomalous in the sense that it felt like time was going forward. It felt like time was going backwards. It felt like time was spinning in vortexes in both directions. Like things were not happening in order, they were happening in a jumbled up sense. But I also got this sense that this disorder was actually relevant to the type of realities these were. And these actually, as strange as these realities were, they actually felt like a more expansive form of consciousness. It felt like a key to consciousness that is greater, and a key to unlock what we think of as consciousness and what we think of as existence. Whatever I saw in this dream, everything that we think of as normal was completely flipped on its head, more so than I've ever seen in any dream. In any dream, this was just unreal. It was beautiful. So I saw this other reality, this gorgeous beach, this gorgeous, like stunning tropical beach. It was like the most beautiful beach I've ever seen. And I was looking at it from the sky, but it was through the tunnel. And I just mesmerized by it. And then I was taken out of there and I was taken into an underground chamber. And to go into this underground chamber, you needed some kind of secret code to access it, a word or whatever, and they would let you through. And as we go in, we find ourselves deep underground and we go into a spaceship. The spaceship takes off in the space where we see where it just got even more intense. Like the colors got even brighter, everything got much more interactive, and the realities got even stranger, and it wasn't even like humans anymore. At this point, I'm seeing like, I remember there were like these robotic fly like creatures, as ridiculous as this sounds. They look like neon flies, like giant neon flies, and they were living in this giant neon reality. And they were like, but they weren't organic, they were like robots. And then we go deeper, and I'm seeing, just at this point now, I'm seeing entities that just look like light. They don't even look like a structure at all. They're just frequencies of light. And they were just everywhere, and it was innumerable. They were just countless. And they were like very, 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 very high, what I call quantum oscillating harmonics. And they were just bombarding me with information, and symbols. I was seeing symbols, I was seeing information, and it just kept going, and it just kept going, and I just kept seeing like one bizarre thing after another, and people again. There's humans again, and there's these really absurd, ludicrous interactions that didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like juxtaposed with these strange light realities. So that's why I described this dream as like a mushroom trip almost. The visuals were absolutely absurd. It was, I woke up at 4 a.m. and I wrote on the community post, and I went back to sleep, and I was hoping to see more. I was just so intrigued by what I saw. It almost felt like I went into a really, really deep layer of consciousness, and this consciousness was not even close to what we normally think of as consciousness. It was a completely different interaction with what we think of as life, what we think of as kind of like that one out of body experience where I saw the sentient clay blocks, like strange like that, except 100 times more strange. So that's what I can describe. That's what I remember, and it still doesn't do it justice, because there was way more than there's things I just cannot explain in words. It's just, there are no words. You only have to experience it for yourself.